2019, and the days I'm going to explain that I've been through already is days 1 through 3. And the reason I didn't do, and we are currently on day 3 now, the reason I didn't do days 1 and 2 is because I was very tired and a lot of travel and a lot of experience, and I'd rather have just like soak in everything, try to learn as much as I can, not only in the Espanol, also trying to learn a little bit about the Nicaragua culture and its people and the country itself. So I will explain what I went through on day 1. I took off from Chicago O'Hare, then I went to Miami International Airport, and then final stretch was from Miami to Managua, and Managua is the capital of Nicaragua, and the airport is there. So I went there, and people from the Wisconsin-Nicaragua Partners picked me up, took me to the warehouse, and I started work right away. I didn't have any time to take photos because I was having a huge headache, I was getting hungry, and I was just getting very tired because it was just a very long day of travel. So I did some work in the warehouse, learned about it, and then after the warehouse it was very interesting. I got to meet the volunteers, talked to one person who went to a university here in Nicaragua, and she learned graphic design. And then I went, after the warehouse, I got something to eat. Subway, a lot healthier than Subways back in Estados Unidos, which is the United States. Subways there, loved it, very good. Hope to have one more before I leave. And then I went to a host family that night, took a break, and the house, I got like one picture of it, and it was very interesting. The mom and son were very accommodating. Mom didn't know much English, but we communicated through pictures. When I was reading the Blood of Brothers book, she wasn't shy to talk about it through her son, and we just kind of had chicken and rice, bucata and orus and rice. Patco is chicken. And then went to sleep, slept like a rock for the first day. So that was day 1. Day 2, packed all of my stuff up, and then I went to a learning center where I got to learn what they do there at one of the learning centers throughout Nicaragua. What they do there is beekeeping. It's a big thing in beekeeping, and I'll give you a little intro of the history of this learning center. I was told that it was an orphanage, but then what had happened was that the leader of this orphanage was abusing children, and when the police came, they arrested him, and it got taken over by, someone told me, either the Japanese or Chinese, and then they left it, but they made greenhouses, but now it's like a sustainable area. They don't use any chemicals on their plants. They are doing a lot of beekeeping stuff. They're not only doing beekeeping there, but they're also they're learning how to introduce beekeeping into the economy here in Nicaragua. And what they do is they make beekeepers outfits for children and adult sizes. Sorry, I'm looking over here because I had made some notes for myself. And then they teach people how to properly beekeep, and then they make products out of the honey, the products that the bees made, such as facial creams, wine, many different things. And then I got to see the carpentry area of what they do, and I was very grateful to meet Juan. Juan cannot hear well, so he does not know any American or Spanish sign languages. So he can speak a little bit, but they understand what he's talking about, and I got to understand him right away, and I have a video of that, showing him a book of Wisconsin of what I made. So Juan and I connected very well, and we got to look around the area and just they don't waste any materials here. An example is that with the shipping containers that come down from Wisconsin to Nicaragua, they use the boxes of supplies. They'll use the cardboard we made a bookshelf that day. I have pictures of that, and they just reuse, and they get very creative down here in Nicaragua, which is very great to see here in Nicaragua. Them reusing materials such as that. They try so hard not to waste materials here. Some people do. Ernesto's a great example of that. So a little bit later that day, Ernesto picked me up. We came here, which I am currently located at now. So moving on to day 3 of 10/10/29. Ernesto, we went grocery shopping for food that I'm going to be here for 2 weeks. And then after that, we had lunch, a very good lunch, soup, a salad, and more rice. A lot of rice in the meals here in Nicaragua. And what else? So later in the video, I'll take you around and I'm currently located at Montegalpo. So this is the city where Montegalpo tours are currently located at. And I'll be staying here sometimes. I will go up to the Sustainable Research Center, and when I was up there, a lot of majors from the UWSP can benefit, and other universities such as natural resources, education, theater majors, accounting majors, just all the majors can come here and help out not only Wisconsin-Nicaragua Partners, but also Nicaragua, the country itself, to help the country empower the youth, because that's what they're really trying to do here. And a lot of things to learn, and I'll mention that later in my future video journals. Things. Saw the Sustainable Station, like I mentioned, and it was very beautiful, and I'll get more pictures of that as I work up there the next couple days and 2 weeks. So, and that I'm here and currently in Matacopale biological station where Ernesto works with children here, and to fulfill an education for these children. And the current age range, I think, is 6 to 14-year-olds. So this is a great way, and this biological station, it's just absolutely amazing. I love it. It's showing a sustainable economy, and I will take the camera around and show you some of the sites and what they are doing here and what their goal is here. And yeah, so this morning I came up here. I did some trail maintenance with Fernando, and we used machetes. Yes, they let me use a machete. Just the wind. They let me use a machete. We got up pretty good on the mountain. I'll show you that in a second. I'm going to be going up this mountain, and it was a lot of work, and it was hot, and I was just dying sometimes, and I actually just got stunned because I accidentally hit something that I shouldn't have. So that happened, but I'm okay. Everything's good. So yeah, about the mission here, again, like I said, the education system, really try to help
young children, empower the youth here in Nicaragua to help make great things here at this biological station. Also, they are looking for volunteers, which Ernesto is hoping that more volunteers abroad come here. And we talked about a little this, that at the University of Wisconsin Stevens Point, majors, departments such as the natural resources, the professional studies, theater, like I said in the last video, I think all the majors can benefit here and bring something here. And I just think every major can benefit from coming to Nicaragua. So videos from up there. I would go this way, but it's blocked off at the moment. I want to respect that area, because I'll take more videos and pictures over there of the recycled materials that they use for the playground equipment for the children here at the biological station, which we're going to do tomorrow. So I'll show you the rest of the station here of what they do. So right here they have tires and cement in them. Ernesto says Nicaraguans are very creative here when it comes to reusing materials. So the first up is this huge blue barrel, and there are a couple of them located here at the biological station. So if you notice the black tube, that the rainwater, whenever it rains, and we are in the rainy season right now, this water can be used. If you notice that black tube down there, all this water goes from here to out there to water all the plants out there. So that is one part of sustainability that they are really trying to do. And where we currently are right now is one of the canopies here, and then I will take you to the baños. Baños in Espanol is bathrooms. So Ernesto showed me this yesterday, and I'll explain a little more. So the water is reusable here, and these two restrooms, that is for number 2 purposes, and it will go into a box, and a chemical is put into the bathroom, so that way it's not a horrible smell. And then so that way you can see, so that way they use the number 2 as manure here and mix it in with special nutrients, so that way they can use it. Again, sustainability. And we'll go up back this way. So the station also, I have not seen the solar panels, but I don't know where they are, but Ernesto says they put solar panels on here, that this entire station is just off the grid, so it does not use power from the town or the station. It is completely green electricity here from the solar panels, and this is one of the things that they are working on. It's a little teepee, I guess, to make it so that families, if they come here, it is a family setting. It is not a drinking area. It is no alcohol here. It's just a very nice area for families to get away from and get away from the craziness of Nicaragua. So, and if you notice here that they, like I said, they're very creative reusing areas. It's old milk jugs, and they use them for planting. And then there's another, if you see the blue in there, that is another area for the rain barrels. Little hammock, and they got another rain barrel there. So I might stay up here
I might stay up here for a few nights, one or two maximum probably. And they're currently working on the baños and they're working it on in here. So yeah, that's where my $900 is going actually. And it's actually really nice because if you are to donate here to the station or the Wisconsin-Nicaragua Partners, you know the money is going to a good cause, and it's going to be used for education, sustainability, academies. Nicaragua is just, it's really not, it's a beautiful country, and they just reuse their materials no matter what. So that's a little bit of the bio station here. Oh, and I forgot that they do 2 tours here. So for example, they have their little menus here. So people can come and eat here, and then they'll make their food. They'll make the food over here. And these blue barrels actually are purified water, which I've been drinking out of. So little helpful hint that if you ever come here to Nicaragua, don't drink the water from the sinks or anything. Get it purified so that way you don't get sick. And that's concluding the tour of the main station right now. Today I'm going to talk about the culture of what Nicaragua is like. Just gotta find my notes real quick. I took 3 Spanish classes to learn more, to try to get familiar with the language of Espanol down here. Yeah, I think I got it on my phone actually. So, to start off with, that there are a couple of things that Nicaragua is known for. The first up is chocolate. Second is rum. Third is coffee. Fourth is their cigars. And then their food is traditional food, pinto, rice, chicken. That's what they're known for as a country. But let's start off with their culture here in Nicaragua. The first part is that they are very religious down here. The 2 main groups for religious groups are Catholics and then indigenous people. Another part is that they are very friendly down here. They are open. No, they're not that much open, but they are curious people. So for example, that if they'll ask you questions: are you single, married, in a relationship? Are you doing anything? What is your activities? So we got religious, curious but not so open. Their country is kind of divided right now between 2 groups. You have the people that fly under the red and black flags, which are the Sandistas. Then you have the people who fly under the true Nicaraguan flag, which is blue and white. And in 2018, the crisis got very bad where no one could visit. And Mata Culpa tours suffered very dearly, and so did the project that they are working up at the biological station. So that's part of their culture. They don't want to have another war of what happened in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s that they went through. What they want to do is try to do change through peace without any more war or any violence. And they're not allowed to do freedom of protest like in the United States. Like if you were to do a protest, the police would come and break it up along with the government supporters. trying to find something here. I don't have it. Here it is. Yeah, that's kind of sums up Nicaragua culture. Very friendly. They're curious, two-sided, not that open, and very religious. So that kind of wraps up the cultural aspect. And original plan was to finish a book called Blood of Brothers by Stevens Kaiser, but I didn't finish it in time, so I took it with me here to finish it, and I just literally finished the book tonight. And I have to say, it's a pretty good book. It gives not only the history of the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s of Nicaraguan history, but it also goes back to early 1900s, 1500s, 1600s, all that stuff of natives that lived here in Nicaragua, and he just does good a job explaining the triumphs of the Sandinistas, the downfall of the Sandinistas, the rise of the coalition, so the Somoza dictatorship, and just everything about this book is really good. And if you are a Wisconsin-Nicaragua partner, volunteer, part of the student chapter, I really recommend this book. If you plan on coming down here, or if you don't come down here, plan on coming down here, it's just good to brush up on the history of how it is today in Nicaragua. And it's just a good book, and just how people went through life and what he saw. I'll give you a little bit of info about Stevens Kaiser. Stevens Kaiser was a Boston Globe reporter first, made his trips around Central America, and then the New York Times hired him on, and then he lived down here for 5 years, which is such a long time to be away from family and friends. And he's had a few hard times of like seeing all the horror and destruction here in Nicaragua, and he requested off, but it was denied by the New York Times. But it's just yeah, he covers a lot, and he's had a lot of interviews with a lot of good different people. And then it not only, this book also discusses Nicaragua, but it discusses how the U.S. intervened. It also shows Costa Rica and all their other Latin American and Central America, how they got affected by Nicaragua, or what they did to Nicaragua, or tried to help out either side of Nicaragua. So that's like a little bit of the background of this book. I can't think of anything else, but this book was really amazing. It is called Blood of Brothers by Stevens Kaiser. That's Stephen, and his last name is Kinzer. Blood of Brothers, Life and War in Nicaragua. So if you want to read... How's it going, everybody? This is my last night in Nicaragua, and I have most of my stuff packed up. A few things to do left. Probably gonna do it right away in the morning when I wake up. I'm pretty tired, want to get some rest for tomorrow. I just want to say this experience has been truly wide-opening because of the United States versus Nicaragua, because it's a third world country. They don't have a lot of things like we do. We should be grateful for what we have. For example, is that the freedom of speech in the U.S., where Nicaragua cannot do freedom of speech, you can either be jailed or shot at if you protest against the government. But yeah, we should be grateful for those things. And also, today I went to the firefighters, which is bombardos in Espanol. The firefighters there need a lot of equipment and more training. And here in Nicaragua, they can get their basic EMT, if I understood that, but they have to go to another country to get paramedic status. So I'm kind of hoping that in the future, if possible, that if firefighters wanted to come here into the U.S. of Wisconsin and get more training that way, I think that would be a good partnership to do, where firefighters can learn from fire departments or, for example, Mid-State Tech to get firefighter 1 status, so that way they can get training from the U.S. and bring it down here to Nicaragua. Because I would like to, I don't want to see firefighters ever get hurt. That's just a big no. And I want them to get as much training as possible, like I have and other firefighters have. So that's a big thing. I would like all fire departments here in Nicaragua to get the training like I have, and hopefully maybe there could be a program like that where they can come study abroad in the U.S., get their basic EMT, and get their firefighter status. That would be something great. And if they want to get more training, they can do that. Also, like wildland firefighter training or paramedic status, advance their fire skills, so that way they can get properly equipped and handle any kind of situation. I also went to the Learning Center in Esteli. That was a great program because they tried to help a lot of people, especially women, to get away from the responsibilities of home. So that way they can learn how to make clothes, purses, backpacks, all those types of things. And I'm gonna bring this up, and I think what my friend Billy said while we were in France on our last night there is that he said every cent counts and it's all worth it in the end to do these kind of trips. And it doesn't have to be Nicaragua. If you want to do a trip, it can be anything you want in your comfortable zone, such as Europe, Asia, Australia, New Zealand, even in the US or Canada. If you don't want to go overseas, that is something that's always a thing to do. If you never traveled, then start out small and work your way up. I will admit, this was my first trip alone, especially traveling alone by myself. I've always traveled with friends, family, or at least people that I've known. This is the first trip I've ever gone alone. So this was a different experience, and it took me a while to get used to, but I think I'll get more used to it in the future. So, advice to future travelers or students at UWSP or other colleges. 1, every cent counts. 2, you're going to meet a lot of people on your travels. 3, don't pass any opportunity of travel in your school, even like I said, if it's in the US or somewhere like Canada, because abroad is abroad. You're gonna learn something like that. 4, don't break out of your comfort zone and be willing to learn a new language and the history of a country. And 5, always have fun, no matter what happens. You're going to have ups and downs. And yeah, that's all I got to say. So, last video journal, last night in Nicaragua.